Welcome back to the Nanaimo Now channel. What's happening on the streets of Vancouver today that wasn't happening 10 years ago? Well, there's homeless people everywhere. There's drug addicts. The Canadian government lost the war on drugs. You can't win them all, right? But what did they do? Instead of just saying we lost the war, well, they went along with it. They legalized heroin. They legalized methamphetamines. They legalized crack cocaine and fentanyl. The people on the streets that are addicted to these drugs have no chance. I had a dream the other night that our whole country was addicted to drugs, that there was very few people that weren't, that we were building a new social class of Canadians that would never own a home. That would never be able to rent an apartment. That would never cook their food on an electric stove, would never be able to put their food in a fridge, their own fridge, to keep it cold so it doesn't spoil until tomorrow. This social class, the Untouchables, let's call them the Untouchables, the people that we don't see, maybe out of the corner of your eye, but we don't acknowledge them. We don't talk to them. As we drive by them on the street, we might notice them and go, oh, why are they here? As the government of our country will spend $16.3 billion $16.3 billion to bribe a company, a multinational, international company like Volkswagen to build a battery plant in Canada. $16.3 billion. Get that, $16.3 billion. Why would the politicians spend that kind of money to bribe a company to build a battery plant in Canada? Well, chances are it comes with promises of board positions later and $1 million bonuses and whatever. But there's no money in housing the homeless. There's no money in building mental institutions like we used to have in the past. There's no money in healthcare for these people. There's no money. There's no money. There's no money. Why is there no money? Well, because it's given to corporations. Why? Well, because they're not the untouchables. They're not the social derelicts that we see on the street. They're not the drug addicts. They're not the bad people. They're the good people. They create jobs. They're the people that we want to be associated with because they have money. These other people, they'll never have a job. They're unemployable. How will they ever pull themselves out of a tent on the side of a street to a paying job after kicking an addiction? It's not possible. It's not possible. And then what happens if these social outcasts want to get married, have a child? Well, if they're addicted to drugs, chances are they're going to be giving birth to an addicted child. Give birth to an addicted child in Canada, the child becomes a ward of the state, province, whatever. It's not raised by the parents. It's either raised in an institution or it's raised by a stranger. If it was left up to these drug-addicted, lower social class people, chances are that child would be a feral child running the streets wild and not only be as bad, but be worse than the parents that reared that child. We can't have that on the streets of Canada.
The soundtrack comes from a heroin user who taught herself to play.
It's sad. It's horrible to see that people don't have homes.
That there's a piano here shows just how permanent this encampment has become.
It's a neighborhood, and they're trying to make the best out of what they've got. Because of our economy today and the lack of available housing.
The BC Human Rights Commissioner estimates 400 people live in tents along several blocks of Hastings Street in Vancouver's downtown east side.
I don't even know where to start.
What do you need to do here?
Just pack and move, basically.
Melody Watts is putting everything she owns into bins provided by the city. Storage facilities have been arranged, but she has no idea where she will go.
Everybody's overwhelmed, I think.
The city of Vancouver says moving people will take weeks. The order to move the tents came from the fire chief. The department has responded to more than 1,000 fires since January.
Doorways are obviously completely blocked over, so if we do have a small fire in here, our crews are going to be delayed even just getting access to inside.
Advocates say simply moving people isn't a solution. They want to see more shelters and more housing.
To come down and sweep this, you're just going to move it for maybe a day and everyone will come back. So, or they'll go somewhere else. So it's not really a solution to the issue.
By late afternoon, tensions grew between residents and police. Several people were arrested.
Be like somebody coming to your place to take in your house. People don't get it. No one cares.
No. It's better to spend our money on multinational corporations, international corporations, that want to create employment for our people. And be paid billions of dollars rather than the Canadian government looking at a company like Volkswagen and saying, well, geez, if you don't build your products here in Canada, then you can't sell them here in Canada. Oh, now, isn't that a twist? But again, if they did that, the politicians wouldn't be given those cushy board jobs after they retire from politics. So there's no incentive for the politicians to do that. And again, the new social class, the Untouchables, the people that need the tax dollars the most, are discarded, are thrown to the side of the street. We should be issuing them tents because at least they have a home in a tent. But no, in places like East Hastings, they tear the tents down. They throw them in the garbage. So these people have to start all over again with a drug addiction. Now they have no place to live. They have no place to go. There's no more housing for them. Why? Because there's no more money for it. And it goes on and on and on. And why is this? Well, it's because we have a government that's too woke to wake. They're elitists. They've always had money in their genes. They come from trust funds and all of this other stuff. So they don't understand what's happening on the other side of the tracks. How can we change this? Get rid of those elitists, put regular people in there that can make regular decisions, and and help our fellow Canadians get their ass out of grass or heroin or cocaine, fentanyl or methamphetamines. Help their children go to school, be better. Do the right thing rather than the wrong thing, because as what I've seen over the last number of years in Canada here, we're going backwards. We're going into a wrong decision and building a whole new total class, social class of people that aren't worthy of being looked at or aren't worthy of being acknowledged by the rest of society is unthinkable. Anyway, that's another video from Gweilo 60 at the Nanaimo Now channel. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Call your local politician because he ain't doing enough or she ain't doing enough. Obviously, something has to change, and if you as a taxpayer, as a voter, don't make a change, then that new social class that you see on the streets of Nanaimo, Vancouver, Kelowna, and Prince Albert, and Brandon, Manitoba, Winnipeg, and Halifax is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's going to consume your life, because in time it will be in your backyard and you're going to have to deal with it then. Until next time, thanks for watching. Peace out.